So real quick, I'll update expected draft position. So right here, I've gone to the live draft results. I've selected everything. The live draft results. I'm in a new sheet. Then I'm going to paste special, paste it as text. And this usually comes in with a comma, but I have it set to where if there's a comma, it treats it as a new column. And set that right here. Version of the thing. So there updates my expected draft position. All the errors are from kickers, it looks like, and other people I don't rank. So QB Alex Smith, get him in the rankings. So at some point I'll update these, but once it's this late, it doesn't really matter. You just need to know that you're gonna make some really stupid picks late in rounds, so you don't need to account for that. So that's how you do it. Thanks. So I'm about to run through a mock draft. It actually is about to begin, and I'm going to show you how I set up my sound. So here we go. I'm in position 9 in a 12 team draft, so all I do is update that. This is pretty standard league, so make sure that's good. I'm showing everything except defenses. There. And the next step is as the draft goes on, just go through and click on who got selected. So Adrian Peterson, it's going to tell me. The next pick is Arian Foster. So this is what I use to evaluate who I should draft. Right now it's saying Arian Foster, so let's move fast. So somebody took Doug Martin. Just be careful in these mock drafts. Some people are there just clowning around. Someone took Jamal Charles. And someone took Arian Foster. Cool. So we're gonna see who falls to me. A lot of times when I'm this late, I end up getting Calvin Johnson or LaShawn McCoy typically, because people are underrating LaShawn McCoy. But I'd be happy with Calvin, McCoy, or Spiller at this point. I'm guaranteed to get one of them. So I'd be happy with any of them. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to pause this for a minute just to make sure that this video is not too long. So jump back in right before my pick. Someone just took Ray Rice. Really great if I do. Cool. It looks like I'm going to end up probably taking Spiller, but we'll see what it says. So since Calvin Johnson was taken, cool. So now it's telling me to take a tight end, Jimmy Graham, right here. The problem is Jimmy Graham, if you look at my thing, says his projected draft position is 26. So I think he's going to go 26. So why would I take him here when I can get him in the second round, which I will? So I'm going to go with the next best option. You can look here. QB, not a big fan. I'm going to go with Spiller in this case because difference isn't that big this early. Crap. Oh, maybe take one away. The difference isn't that big this early, so when their spread isn't that big, feel comfortable taking whoever you want. My main thing is going to get Jimmy Graham second round, so that's another reason I don't want to take a QB, because then by the time I get my first running back, it will be round 3, which is a very dangerous play. So I feel very comfortable getting a tight end in this next round, and then waiting on wide receiver and QB, but we'll see what the draft board says. So as you can see, it still says Jimmy Graham, and I'm assuming Jimmy Graham will be taken between now and then, so I'll be ready to take him. Go ahead and update the draft board. You can type this in or use the drop down. I got those two players mixed up, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Because Drew Brees, Trent Richardson. It doesn't matter at this point for a lot of reasons. The main one being it's just telling me who to pick next. I'm not doing anything to capture each player's team or anything like that. That's what you have this site for. You can easily click on someone's name and see their team to factor in. If people have quarterbacks behind you, then you can assume they're not going to get a quarterback and things like that. So I'm cool there. I'm going to go ahead and put Jimmy Graham. Aaron Rodgers just got taken. Mhm. Wow, it's telling me the next person to take is Tom Brady. Let's see how that goes. Oh, Matt Forte. No, I'm supposed to. What is this? I'm just gonna type it. It says AJ Green is where the biggest drop off is. That's close because I'm in the even rounds. So I'm probably gonna end up drafting him. I want to make sure I'm mixing anything. AJ Green and both. It's a pretty significant spread, so I'll go ahead and draft him when he was drafted. Now I may get lucky, and part of this has to do with Jimmy Graham is really close to Gronk in terms of total points I have him. I have him 20 points apart, so as far as I get to 19 would be the exact amount. So depending on how Gronk's recovery goes, that may change, but we will see. I'm going to pause this again and hopefully see you back here in a couple rounds. So I'm coming back a little bit early for a couple reasons. There's a couple of changes I'm going to be needing to make, and I want everybody to see them. So after this pick, I'm going to need to adjust this so that I can move it over a little bit easier. I have a big screen that I typically draft on, and I can just have everything there, but I don't have it right now, so I'm just going to show you the easier way. So all I do is hide that, and then I jump to 31. And I'm back in business. The other thing I'm going to do is I have a running back and a wide receiver. It's still early, so I'm actually not going to adjust it because I still need to fill one more. Whichever one I draft, I'll adjust the points factor of that thing, so that way I don't get too heavy on one position. This early, though, it's not really necessary. I'm typing them in at this point, know most of their names, and who's it telling me to draft? This is an odd round. It's telling me to draft Percy Harvin. This is a really good way to construct my team. Um, let's see what the other ones. I mean, it's a 40-point difference. Percy Harvin is by far and away the best. And this is really when it helps when you get later and you see where your rankings mismatch everyone else's. I can see that Percy Harvin is a way better pick than any other option I had. And I have two solid wide receivers, so I'm going to make a pretty big adjustment here. I'm going to take it to 0.5, so it's going to have to be a pretty big difference in order for me to choose a wide receiver. So, Darren McFadden, Benson Jackson, Wes Welker, Fitzgerald. One thing you'll notice about my teams as I do all these drafts is most of my people are going to be very high upside people. I do this because you don't get any prizes for coming in fourth or fifth place typically, so I try to just swing for the fences. And usually, if one or two of those sort of fence swings connects, I win the league. And if you do that in 4 or 5 leagues, and you do it, but you do it with different players, you stand a real good chance of coming out on top typically. And then you just make sure all your other picks are smart and you don't do anything stupid. I'm gonna be fine. So Rob Gronk got taken, which is not good for me, but that means that I'll be drafting a tight end very, very late, given that both Graham and Gronk are gone. Sort of regret not picking the tight end. Actually came back around to me, but we'll see how that goes. And I haven't fully accounted for all the tight end stuff going on, particularly I've accounted for I've accounted for Aaron Hernandez with it. So let me draft Cam Newton. I like that. I really like waiting to draft some running backs because I have someone pretty solid in CJ Spiller. He's a little bit more risky, but with how this is constructed, I could draft a couple high upside guys, and I'd be perfectly happy with that. And I have a quarterback. I don't like to draft more than one quarterback, so I changed that to account for the fact that I got Cam Newton. So I'm going to pause this, and hopefully we can we start back up here soon as I update this sheet. So jumping back in here just to go over the tight end thing real quick, I just wanted to show you how this actually works. So as you can see, I have Jimmy Graham, 121, Gronk 152, and Gonzalez 139. So that's like a 32-point difference between Jimmy Graham and Tony Gonzalez. And that's important to remember because what I decided to do early on was draft AJ Green instead of Jimmy Graham. So even if I didn't get Gronkowski, which I didn't, I can still get Tony Gonzalez. And the amount I've lost is less than what I'm projecting for the tight end position. Because if you remember, and you can rewind back, let's see if I can control Z all the way back to that. See, AJ Green was a 25-point difference between him and the wide receiver, which is pretty significant. So, at most, by getting Tony Gonzalez, I lose, 5 points? 5 to 6 points? I mean, that's not a huge loss. So, and if for some reason Jimmy Graham doesn't come up to that number, that's how big of a buffer I have. So, it just goes to show you how this works. As long as you believe in your rankings, you can feel comfortable making these decisions as you go. And now it's back on my turn. I gotta update the last few picks. Extra team there. Matthews, Wilson. And the great thing here is what round am I in? I'm in the 5th round. This is the drafted tight end, Tony Gonzalez. Let's make sure he doesn't get drafted too soon. Drafted too soon. Well, after that, so there. So I got Tony Gonzalez. And look at the difference. I mean, 20 points. I mean, I'm predicting a big drop off between him and the next guy. So, I mean, I have to feel great about that pick unless I think I'm way off on my projection. So I could have got Vernon Davis a little bit later, 10 points less, but Vernon Davis is a very risky pick. And so, cool. So now I can shorten. I can basically not show tight ends. And change to a 0.25. Cool. And now basically I'm just picking upside running backs. I think I'm pretty solid in all these positions. I mean, I'm never going to start anyone over any of these people I have. So I get to swing for the fences with 6 or 7 high upside running backs. I hope one of them pops. CJ Spiller does have some injury history, so I won't be completely crazy with the upside, as I would be if I had, say, Ray Rice or something like that. So, but I'm gonna keep picking like that, and that's it.